Do you want more success, more growth, more results? Then it's time for the Boundless Success Accelerator from the Modern Observer Group. This isn't your average coaching program. It's where top performers come to dominate. Weekly group sessions, on-demand coaching, a community that's got your back, and a power-packed library of tools to supercharge your business and career. No more excuses, no more waiting. Get in, level up, and start building the life you've been dreaming about. Visit us at modernobserver.com/boundless success to join today. Let's get you to the next level. We're here because the news is being distorted. We're here because people are being inundated with misinformation on social media. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup.
This is the raw, naked truth.
Russia-Ukraine negotiations continue. Hamas agrees to a ceasefire. MSNBC rebrands and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. Ukraine's President Zelensky visited the White House yesterday, this time wearing a suit and getting a much warmer reception from President Trump. The meeting happened after Trump met with Russia's Vladimir Putin in Alaska to discuss a potential peace deal between Russia and Ukraine, but one that would involve Ukraine giving Russia land it had seized in its invasion, which Zelensky has said he will not agree to. Ukrainian law does not permit Zelensky to give up land without a vote. After yesterday's meeting, Trump said he had begun arranging a meeting between Putin and Zelensky and had discussed it with the Russian leader during a phone call, with a trilateral meeting to follow. Although no specific plan emerged, Trump also said the U.S. could provide security guarantees to Ukraine. 7 European leaders also attended the meeting at the White House Monday and indicated that they too would be willing to send peacekeeping forces to Ukraine if a peace deal could be reached. Zelensky called the meeting their best one yet and said he's open to future talks with Vladimir Putin. A hot mic caught Trump telling French President Macron he believes Putin wants to make a deal. While no formal peace plan was announced, leaders signaled that there was more progress in the past 2 weeks than in the previous 3 years. Despite that progress, Russian strikes on northeastern and southern Ukraine killed 14 people and injured dozens yesterday. The attacks came just hours after Zelensky arrived in Washington, D.C. Hamas has accepted an updated proposal for a ceasefire in Gaza, prevented by the Qatari and Egyptian mediators. 2 sources with knowledge of the talks told Axios. This is part of a last-ditch effort to reach a deal and avoid a major new Israeli offensive to occupy Gaza City. A diplomatic source said the deal Hamas accepted is 98% similar to the last U.S.-backed proposal. Israel agreed to that proposal, but talks broke down when Hamas did not. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi traveled to India to meet with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The meeting between the two powerhouse Asian nations comes after President Trump hit India with a new set of tariffs, which will go into effect next week. Modi will return the favor by visiting China later this month. The Trump administration on Friday announced that it will review state laws that have a negative impact on the broader U.S. economy and interstate commerce to address those impacts. On Friday, the Justice Department and National Economic Council said the effort will focus on identifying state laws that significantly and adversely affect the national economic or interstate economic activity and to solicit solutions to address such effects. As an example, the DOJ and NEC highlighted a recent lawsuit filed by the Justice Department against the state of California over laws that they argue impose costly requirements on the production of eggs and poultry products, which in turn raised prices for consumers both in and outside of California. Democratic state lawmakers who fled Texas 2 weeks ago to block their Republican colleagues from using their majority to implement a new election map that could add 5 congressional seats for the GOP in the House returned yesterday. This allowed the Texas House to have a quorum to meet for the first time in weeks. Republicans are now expected to pass the redistricting plan after Governor Greg Abbott, who accused the Democrats of having run away from their responsibility, called a second special legislative session for them to finish it. But the returning lawmakers said they were now more dangerous, having provoked a national conversation that included the governor of California's threat to redraw the state's map to counterbalance Texas. Democratic states have gerrymandered districts for decades to keep Republicans from winning House seats. 30 members and leaders of Tren de Aragua, a Venezuelan gang designated as a foreign terrorist group, were indicted in Colorado on charges including murder for hire, drug trafficking, and firearms offenses. The gang has been tied to murder, extortion, kidnapping, and drug and human trafficking. Several TDA members are accused of unlawfully entering the U.S. and introducing its gang violence to communities across America, including those in Colorado. These defendants include Tren de Aragua leaders, members, and associates, U.S. Attorney for Colorado Peter McNeely said during a press conference on Monday. The charges include firearms trafficking, drug trafficking, and a barbaric murder for hire plot in which several of the defendants agreed to kill 2 people for $15,000 and return their severed heads as proof of the murders for just an extra $5,000. MSNBC is changing its name to MS Now, which stands for My Source for News, Opinion, and the World. The rebrand, announced yesterday, aims to create distance between the liberal news network and NBC Universal, which owns NBC, amid an ongoing corporate divorce. It's also dropping NBC's iconic peacock logo. The name change comes as part of the process that started last November of spinning off MSNBC and other NBCU cable network properties, including the Golf Channel, E! And CNBC, into a new company called Versant. While none of the other channels will be changing their names, NBC announced that all the spun-out channels will also shed the peacock logo. Branding and entertainment industry insiders widely panned the rebrand, which includes a white flag with red stripes. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth Daily News Brief, as well as our sister podcast, Carnivore Radio, with news analysis and commentary, and the rest of the Xvadio Podcast Network at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcast app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.